In Ephesians, it talks about that the devil is under our feet. Well, listen, that's positional truth, meaning you're born with that overcoming victory in your spirit because you're born of Christ. So positionally, the devil is under your feet, but you have to execute that, right? You know, a man and a woman could be legally married, so legally they're one, but we both know what a man and woman do on their wedding night. They exercise that oneness. In other words, they actually put into motion the oneness that they became when they got married, and we know what that means on the honeymoon. Well, so too with you and God. You and Jesus have been made one. He's received you to that place, but now execute it. Walk out your life from that place, which means that if the devil's under your feet, walk out your life to where in your day-to-day, in the 21st century, in the town you live in the house you live in, actually in the moment, put the devil under your feet. Yes, you're born with a dominion that has him under your feet, as in you have the capacity to do it, but you have to walk that out. The same way, again, a man and a woman are made one in the marriage ceremony, but we really know where they're made one. And that, of course, happens later that night. Keep this PG. So you're the same way. Yes, Jesus, when you got born again, he received you to that place. You and Jesus are one. Well, walk that out. You'll hear Pastor Jim Martin talk about the pillars. These are the 4 things that we do that equip us to walk out this place of oneness. We have Jesus, to actually exercise in this place, to take this place of oneness and bring it forward into our lives, and that's praying in tongues. If you look below in my description, I talk briefly about these. Worship, fasting, staying in the Word, confessing. You do all these things, and keep an eye on my time. Oh, I'm at an hour. And you keep doing these things, and that keeps that Word of God in your ground. You don't know exactly how it works, but you know if you went and planted an apple tree in the ground, that eventually you're going to have a tree filled with apples. And you know how to pluck an apple and eat it. So leave this word in you, and the devil's going to try to take it. Jesus has received you to this place with him. You have a capacity to understand his word. Everything Jesus had, he left you in his will. You have the power to believe this, receive it all. When the fruit comes, you'll walk in it. But you have to keep that seed in your ground. The devil's out with binoculars looking for people who, like their flame is getting larger and larger. He's like, gosh, I can never steal the word from that guy. I'm going to have to up my game and come even more to take the word out of that guy, because if that word continues to grow, it spells the end of me. I know that this can be very confusing because you're in a natural mind, but Hebrews 4:12 says, take the word of God. Your high priest will separate all these things out. And at the end of the chapter, he said, look, come boldly to me. You don't have to hide from Jesus when you're confused about things. He says, come boldly to me and find grace to help in the time of need. Because Jesus says, look, I know what it's like to be in your shoes. And he also says, all things are naked and open unto me. All of what's totally confusing you in a stronghold of thought, Jesus sees all that plainly. Go to him. And he'll separate all that out for you to begin to affect freedom in your life.